We now know all the cards in Duskmourn, and as attention turns to strategies from that set, it may be a good time to pick up cards that are not in the spotlight. Let's look at 10 good ones that are getting cheaper. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Duskmourn House of Horror, or find a vast number of other great products on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. And like I said in the cold open, we are seeing a lot of spec this week on cards based on how they may interact with what we saw in Duskmourn previews. But there are some really good cards that have slipped under the radar, and that's what the Coldest is all about. And when I say cold, I'm talking cold as in going down in price, not necessarily getting less play. As always, our list is based on two things: the percentage decrease in the value of the cards, as well as the decrease in the number of sales from week to week. Quickly before we get into our list though, I do want to say thank you to one of our Hero and Legend tier channel members. That is Joseph Capitani. Joseph, thank you for all your support. Could not do this without viewers like yourself. I know I always say that, but Joseph has been a big supporter of the channel, being a channel member, leaving lots of comments, showing up for the live streams, and hopefully I'll be able to get one of those in pretty soon. I was trying to upgrade my internet, and I think I got everything working, so at some point we'll have to do a gameplay stream again, but I digress. Anyway, thank you, Joseph. I appreciate all your support. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 10 is Thran Portal. It goes down $1.09 to $3.51. That's a 24% decrease. In Standard, this is in Is It Prowess and sometimes in Gruul Prowess, plus it sees some commander play in various builds. The highest played one is Nine Fingers Keen, but ultimately Thran Portal is getting less play than it was a few months ago, and attention has simply shifted to other newer cards, so we see it drop some. Number 9, Get Lost, down $1.25 to $6.75. That's a 16% decrease. Fantastic card that has been gradually gaining value throughout the summer, but this week it does retract a little as attention is diverted to new cards. This still sees a ton of play though. In Standard, it's in big decks like Domain, Boros Mice, Mono White Token Control, Jeskai Control, Jeskai Aggro, Boros Token Control, Azorius Control, and Orzhov Token Control. But Get Lost is all over Pioneer too. It's in Azorius Control, Boros Convoke, Azorius Spirits, Mono White Humans, Mono White Midrange, Boros Heroic, Boros Midrange, Azorius Humans, and Azorius Lotus Field. Get the point here? Yeah, the card sees a ton of play. It even gets a little commander play in different decks. The most popular one that runs it is Odric Master Tactician. Even with all the gameplay though, Get Lost is still soft this week. Number 8, Conduit of Worlds, down $1.49 to $7.49. That's a 17% decrease. Great commander card for juggling lands, and it even lets you cast non-land permanents from your graveyard. Needless to say, this gets a lot of play in the commander format. You see it in builds like the Necrobloom, Thalia and the Gitrog Monster, and Lord Windgrace. Recently, there was even more attention on Conduit of Worlds since it played well with several cards from Bloomburrow. In fact, it was common to see this in builds around Flubs the Fool, which was the Bloomburrow Buy a Box promo commander card, and Glarb Calamity's Augur from the main set. Much like the last card though, Conduit gained value all summer. This week it retracts some. Number 7 is Hostile Investigator, down $1.57 to $8.62. That's a 15% decrease. This is from Outlaws of Thunder Junction's The Big Score subset. Prior to Standard rotation, the card was seeing more play since it was part of the very popular Golgari midrange decks. Now it still sees Standard play, but not as much in this new meta. It's in Feyblade and Mono Black discard there. Hostile Investigator has also been seeing less play in Pioneer since the meta shakeup that occurred after the banning of Amalia, Benavides Aguirre, and Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. You do see it in Mono Black aggro and sometimes Mono Black discard, but that's all. It's not doing much in Commander either, but it can appear in builds like Aklazat's Deepest Betrayal or Tiny Bones Trinket Thief. Ultimately, the decrease in gameplay that Hostile Investigator has experienced resulted in the downturn we see here. I would expect the card to lose more value in the short term before it stabilizes. Number 6, Vraska's Forge, down $1.71 to $10. That's a 15% decrease. Here we have a card that still sees a lot of play, but a few weeks back it spiked aggressively when the standard Boros token control deck took off. Now the meta is a little different, but Vraska's Forge is still highly played in Standard. It's in Grill Prowess, Rakdos Lizards, Mono Red Prowess, Boros Aggro, Jeskai Control, Rakdos Aggro, Boros Token Control, and Mono Red Aggro. This also sees some commander play in Goro, and Satoru, for example, and recently it saw a small bump in commander play as part of some Balin the Haymaker builds. That's a card from Bloomburrow. At the end of the day, Urabrass Forge moves down some this week, but it is still seeing a lot of standard play, and it is still quite a bit more expensive than it was before it spiked at the start of August. Alright, quickly before we get to our top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Duskmourn House of Horror products there. They have a whole lot of other items on their website too. You can even pre-order Foundations now, that is up. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I have links posted in both of those places. Now, without any further ado, let's look at the top 5. Number 5, Rapacious Guest, down $2.24 to $4. That's a 36% decrease. This is from the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth Food and Fellowship commander deck. Traditionally, this has been seeing a fair amount of commander play. It was in builds around the partner commanders Frodo Adventurous Hobbit and Sam Loyal Attendant, for example, which makes sense since all those cards are from the same precon. But a few weeks ago, this spiked aggressively due to the food token support that came from Bloomburrow. Rapacious Guest immediately started seeing more commander play in various builds. Now things have settled down, but this is still indexed around a couple cards from Bloomburrow, Igra, Eater of All, and Camellia the Seed Miser. I would expect Rapacious Guest to lose more value through the short term as attention shifts from Bloomburrow to Duskmourn. Coming in at number 4 is Vraska Betrayal Sting. This goes down $2.90 to $15.98. That's a 15% decrease. Here's another card that jumped a lot recently, but it's moving down some now. This spiked a few weeks back because it combos with Innkeeper's Talent from Bloomburrow. Basically, if you play Vraska with Innkeeper's Talent when level 3 is active, you can give an opponent 18 poison counters. You do see this combo in the standard Golgari midrange build, and even though that deck is still seeing a lot of play, it isn't as dominant in the field as it was at the start of this season. Vraska Betrayal Sting does get a good amount of commander play. The most popular deck running it is Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Nevertheless, the decrease in standard play coupled with the extra copies that hit the marketplace when the card spiked have led to the drop we see here. Number 3, Parallax Tide from Nemesis, down $6 to $19.99. That's a 23% decrease. 2 weeks ago, this was number 9 on the hot list. Last week it hit number 5 there. Now it lands on the cold list. This Nemesis copy is the only tournament legal printing of the card, and it's been dry online. The format that was making it jump was actually pre-modern. There is a Parallax Replenish deck there that has been performing well in the format. The deck runs 3 or 4 copies of this, and that extra demand on an already scarce card led to the recent spikes. However, we see this all the time. A card gets hot, it spikes. That leads to sellers putting more copies online, and eventually supply catches up with demand enough to at least bring the card down a little bit. Parallax Tide's price right now, though, is still much higher than it was before it started to jump in August. Number 2, AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait, down $6.03 to $30.42. That's a 17% decrease. This is the Commander Legends Reap the Tide Commander deck copy, which only comes in foil. It's always been a popular commander, and it's in the 99 of several builds there, including a couple new ones. You see it indexed around that Bloomburrow Buy a Box promo commander card, Flubs the Fool, and Glarb Calamity's Augur from the main set. So why is AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait moving down? Well, for the first time it's getting reprinted, and not just 1, but 2 products. First, it's in Mystery Booster 2, which is not a wide release product, so that alone wouldn't have impacted the Commander Legends copy's price that much. But it is also being reprinted in the Duskmourn Jump Scare commander deck with an exclamation point. I am already seeing it in fresh deck lists around the front-facing commander from there, Zimone Mystery Unraveler. However, with the extra copies of AC coming in hot, the original dips this week. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Alchemist's Talent. It goes down $8.33 to $19 for a 30% decrease. This was number 2 on the hot list last week, but this week it takes the top spot on our cold list. Why was it so hot? Well, each Bloomburrow commander deck has an exclusive talent spell that cannot be pulled anywhere else, including collector boosters. This is the exclusive talent from the animated army deck, and players as well as speculators realize that these exclusive talents are harder to acquire since they're not in the collector boosters. This one in particular was interesting because it creates and interacts with a popular commander mechanic in the form of treasure tokens. When it comes to gameplay, it's in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from its precon, of course, Bello Bard of the Brambles, but Alchemist talent is also appearing in several other commander decks. A couple popular ones include Mr. House President and CEO, and Edward Kenway, which is a newer card from Assassin's Creed. However, now that more copies of Alchemist talent have gotten into circulation, the price is relaxing a little bit. Keep an eye on the card though, I do think it does have some long-term potential, at least until it gets the inevitable reprinting. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch and our top 10 cold cards, but this is only part of the story. I know you want to know which cards are hot. Well, we did a video yesterday looking at the top 12 hottest cards of the week. As you can imagine, Duskmourn having a big influence there. Definitely don't want to miss that video. Until next time though, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon and have a great day.